Welcome to the Turning Pro Challenge 2020. The number one question I get from traders is, how do I become a professional trader? So who is a professional trader? In my opinion, a professional trader is someone who actually trades for a living. When we first get started in trading, we all have dollar signs in our eyes. We believe that we'll be able to make money quickly in this business, and in fact, we'll be able to get rich. However, that is not quite the reality. Once we've been trading for a while, we realize that it's not as quick as we thought it would be, and in fact, it takes a lot of hard work. Now that we are starting a new year, it's time for us to do a reality check and really take a look at our trading. Based on that reality check, what did you find? Are you dreaming or are you serious? So if you don't like what you see, there's nothing to get upset about. However, it is time to get serious. It's time to stop wishing and start doing. Now, what's the difference between an amateur and a professional? The biggest difference is the mindset. An amateur believes that making money will be quick and it won't take that much effort. However, a professional, on the other hand, knows that it is a long road to success and it will take a lot of hard work to get there. So, how do professionals do it? They set a goal, they make a plan, they get to work, and of course, they stick to it through thick and thin. And finally, they are able to reach their goal. You must have heard me talk about sports a lot. The reason I do that is because I believe there are a lot of similarities between athletes and traders. So, on the same note, we'll talk about this guy. Many of you may know him. This is LeBron James. LeBron James is an NBA player. He has been to 9 NBA finals. He has won 3 NBA championships. He has been a 4-time NBA Most Valuable Player. And most importantly, he has a 4-year contract with LA Lakers for $153 million. So we can say that LeBron James is quite successful. And he says, greatness is defined by how much you want to put into what you do. Here are some of the things that you will find about LeBron James. Even though LeBron James is one of the top players in the league, he is still the last player to leave the court after practices. He will put in anywhere from 45 minutes to an extra hour after the practice is done. In fact, while he's still working out, most of his teammates have already showered and they're ready to leave, but not LeBron James. He says you have to put in the effort if you expect to improve your game. That's always been my mindset. He also says success isn't owned, it's leased, and the rent is due every day. And the same applies to us in trading as well. There's no guaranteed success. We have to work at it every single day. The market changes, things are different every single day. So we have to work at it every single day. Now, my question to you is, are you ready to change your mindset and change your trading results? And if your answer is yes, you're in the right place. It's time to get serious. So let's get started. So what are we going to do? We will follow the same formula that the professionals use. We will set a goal, we will make a plan, we'll get to work, and we'll stick to our plan, and finally we'll be able to reach the goal. So the purpose of this Turning Pro Challenge is to adapt the behaviors and actions of professionals so that we are able to get similar results to them. There are 3 keys to success in trading, and these are preparation, execution, and review. First, let's take a look at preparation. What do we need to do? The first thing we want to look at is what is happening this week. So we start this process on Sunday. Every week, we take a look at our weekly market analysis. So we take a look at the market direction and the trend for that week. We take a look at what are the different levels that we can take trades from. So we mark our support and resistance levels. We also take a look at upcoming news for the week because that will have an impact on our trading. And of course, it doesn't end there. We have to get down to the daily. So, what do we need to do on a daily basis? On a daily basis, we need to do our daily market analysis because the market will change from day to day. And we look at the market direction for that particular day, and we take a look at if there is a trending market. We mark our technical levels that we can take trades from. And of course, we have to look at what news may be coming that day. And based on all of that, we create our trade plan. Now, the second step here is execution. So, what do we need to do? Now, we need to implement all of that. So, the first thing is we follow our trade plan. So, the trades that you found the previous day, we now execute those trades. We also want to make sure that we have our stop loss and take profit targets set, and we need to manage our trades. Now, the third step here is review. In the review, we will evaluate our trades and see how we did. And again, we start with a daily review. So there are some key questions you want to ask yourself when you're doing your daily review. The first one is, how did the market behave? What setups were present and how did they play out? If we keep track of this information every day, you'll find that you'll start to pick out things really quickly. In the beginning, this may take you some time, but as you keep doing it every single day, you'll find you are spending less and less time looking at this stuff. We also want to take a look at, was there a setup that worked really well? The reason for doing that is because when we can identify the setups that worked out and we can understand the conditions that were present around those trade setups, then when we see them in the future as they are setting up, they will be so much easier to identify. They get ingrained in our brain, and then we'll be able to take them successfully the next time around. And of course, we also want to take a look at what do we expect from the market tomorrow based on what happened today. Last question would be, did you follow your trade plan, and what changes do you need to make going forward? And then we go on to our weekly review. We just do this at the end of the week. You can do it on Friday or Saturday. And the key questions we want to ask here are, how did the markets behave? So overall, there is generally a theme in the markets. So we just want to take a look at what's going on in the markets and how did the prices react to that. We also want to take a look at how do we expect the market to behave next week based on what happened this week. And of course, we want to take a look at, did we follow our trade plan? Because this is very important. And based on that question, we can look at what changes do we need to make going forward. So this is a critical step because this is where we are going to identify every single thing that we did not do well. At the same time, though, we also want to take a look at things that we did do well. So we want to look at our results and our actions as well. And in a bit, we'll take a look at how we evaluate that. Now let's take a look at resources that we'll use for this challenge. You'll be able to download a few resources. So we have a market analysis watch list, first of all. So every day you can do your market analysis. You can enter the market direction for each pair. We take a look at what the potential pullback levels will be, profit target levels, and any comments. So this one is nice and simple here. And then the next one we want to take a look at actually is the trade journal. Trade journal will have information about the daily analysis. So we take a look at 3 best pairs to trade for the following day. We enter these pairs. We take a look at what our entry levels and take profit levels will be and how did this go, and of course the comments. During the daily analysis, we also want to take a look at news. So I suggest looking at Forest Factory news, but you can pick any calendar that you like. It doesn't have to be Forex Factory. I do recommend that you look at Bloomberg and Reuters under the market section. As you start to read these news, at first you may not understand exactly what they're trying to say, but over time you will start to grasp what the market is doing and how they're reporting on it. We also want to do emotional check-in. This is something that not a lot of people talk about, but this is very important because when you don't feel your best, your performance won't be best either. So you want to make sure that you avoid the days where you're not feeling your best. So optimal mental as well as physical health is very important when you're trading, just like it is important when you're an athlete, because your performance is very much tied into how you feel. And then, of course, we can note the trades that we took here, what kind of results we got. You can put in your charts in here, and then a daily review, all those questions that we talked about in the PowerPoint, they are right here, and you can enter your answers. And same thing, we do a weekly review and you can enter all your answers over here. So this is our trade journal. So now let's take a look at some projections. Last couple of times that we ran this challenge, I started with a smaller account. However, I also wanted to give you an idea of how things can look if you have a larger account. A lot of times I find that people are trying to squeeze everything out of a small account. Well, the investment return is based on the size of your account. So this time we'll start off with $50,000 account. Now, you don't need to start with that account. You can enter in the amount that you start with. I do recommend that you start on a demo account. So if you have a demo account, you can have a $50,000 demo account. You can enter that here. But there are some projections that I wanted to show you. So in year one, if we were to just double our account, if we start at $50,000, we'll have $100,000 at the end of the year. In year two, we start off with $100,000. We'll have 200. In year three, we start off with 200 and we'll have 400 at the end of it. All we are doing is just doubling the account every year. In year four, we start with 400,000. At the end, we'll have 800,000. And the best of all here, in 5 years, in year five, we start with 800,000. At the end of it, we'll have grown our account to $1.6 million. So we can see that we don't need to get crazy amounts of results here. All we're trying to do is double our account every year. So what does that look like in terms of real dollars? So you'll notice here I have put in a different week. So this one goes all the way to 52 weeks. So based on the $50,000 amount, what I need to make every week will be $961.54. And then that will give me a monthly total of about $38.50. And here we have an account total. So every month as the profits are made, it will get added to the account total. So with this spreadsheet, you are able to enter your own numbers. So if you enter, let's say $5,000 in here, this will give you what targets you need to hit here. So you can go and change this according to whatever account size you have, and it will give you the projections over the next 5 years. As well, it will give you a weekly target as well as a monthly target. And of course, you can then measure it against the actual results that we get. Now, we may not have a win every week, so we enter our weekly profit or loss here. We enter our total monthly profit and loss over there. Of course, same total profit here will go in here, and then we have our account total in here. Let me change that. That should be monthly total. So we'll have monthly total as well as our account total. So these numbers here, as you enter them, it will automatically calculate these numbers. Now, these are the projections. This is where we start with. Now it comes to the interesting work. What do we need to do every week? Every week we fill out our scorecard. There are 3 steps that we need to follow. First one is preparation, execution, and review. So in preparation, every time you check the news, for each day you give yourself 1 point. If you do your market analysis, you give yourself another point. If you set your potential profit entries and targets, you give yourself another 1. So let's say you did all of these. So you would give yourself 1 for each, and you will get 3 points for that day. So in execution, if you take your trades as planned, you'll get a 1 for that day. So let's say you take 3 trades and one of them wasn't as planned, so you still get a 0. So our goal here is to do our very best and try to stick to it as much as we can. So if you entered stop losses, you would get a 1, otherwise you would get a 0. If you set your profit targets, you'll get a 1 here. And if you didn't manage your trades that well that day, you will get a 0 here. So for that day, your total will be 2. Same thing applies here. Let's say you did your post-market review and you manage your emotions, you will get 1 for each and you'll get 2. What you will notice is when you go to this scorecard spreadsheet, all these numbers will get added here. So the numbers that you enter here will get transferred over here. So at the end of the week, you will have numbers, the total numbers down here, and these numbers will get entered here automatically. So you don't need to type them out here. You just type them once in here, and as you enter your numbers, every day they will get added and the totals are at the bottom, which will then get input in here. So they were automatically updated. And every week there's a different worksheet that you can put your numbers in, and every day they will get transferred to the scorecard. So at the end, you'll be able to tell what your totals are. So this total row here, this will calculate the totals for all the numbers here. So basically, we need to fill out our scorecard on a daily basis and just review over here. And then we need to enter our weekly and monthly totals. So that is our spreadsheet. Those are all the resources that you can use to really track your trading. So these are the type of things that we need to do to really become a successful trader. And if you want to download these resources, you can go to tradingwithvenus.com/turningpro2020. And I'll leave you with this. They say that hard work beats talent when the talent fails to work hard. It's true, so keep working.